They painted it wrong, Mara thought. If they see the drip, I die. The mask was still wet. Enemy blue bled down the cheek like a tear. Around her, the hall of glass roared with soft applause, a sea of smiling spies. Cloaks brushed marble. Rings clicked. No one shouted? That was worse. Quiet meant knives. She kept breathing, in, out, slow. Smile, Yek whispered at her shoulder. You're one of them tonight. One of them. The Iron Coast. The ones who burned her village and took her brother. The ones who made people vanish for asking the wrong prayers. Mara swallowed the old heat and lifted her chin. The mask hid most of her face. It smelled like oil and salt. Enemy blue, enemy gold. Perfect colors to die in. The woman on the dais raised a glass. Welcome, Wilhelmine, she said, using the false name they gave Mara. The council sees you. Mara bowed. She heard the words she'd practiced. Her voice didn't shake. For the coast. For victory. The spies applauded again. Hands like shutters. She hated their neat rhythm. Yek squeezed her elbow. Easy, he breathed. Make the trade. Then we leave. The trade. A seed stone tucked in a slit along the mask's edge. It was small and gray. It hummed under her skin. People said seed stones woke old doors. People said they woke ghosts. Either story was bad. Mara moved through the glass light. She saw her reflection, wearing a stranger's colors, blue, gold, enemy. Her stomach turned. Don't think. Live. The contact waited near a column shaped like a wave. He had shell-white hair and careful eyes. He held out a hand like they were dancers. Wilhelmine, he said. Your reputation arrived before you. She took his fingers. Palms met. Codes shifted. Warmth passed. She felt the weight of the seed stone leave the mask, then settle into his sleeve. Done. Get out. She forced her smile deeper, like a knife wound. Then her cheek itched. Paint flaked. A tiny curl dropped from the mask's edge and landed on her lip. She tasted salt and metal. Another curl loosened. It slid down under her jaw and tickled like a bug. Not now. The contact's careful eyes flicked to the drip. He blinked once, twice. Mara's heart stuttered. She turned her head as if to admire the chandeliers. She prayed the room would keep clapping. The chandeliers sang with crystal. The applause eased. The careful man's mouth made a small O. He took a step back. Missed? Yek murmured. She had no answer. Her skin burned. The itch became a crawl. The paint was lifting itself off the mask, loosening in strips. The blue tore like sky caught on thorns. The gold cracked. The hall's glass walls threw the scene back at her 100 times. Enemy colors peeling like old skin. She grabbed Yek's hand. Move, she whispered. Now they slid toward the servants' arch. 2 guards pivoted. Their boots barked. Mara lowered her head and walked faster. Her face felt naked. The paint fell in slow flakes, like snow. With each flake, dark lines shone through the mask. Lines that weren't part of the design. Letters. The arch opened to a thin corridor lit by pale stones. Yek shoved a tray into a guard's hands and kept going. Mara stumbled. The paint let go in a soft hiss and blew against her collar. She raised shaking fingers and brushed the edge of the mask. White dust fell under the enemy paint. A message was carved into the mask itself, crude, deep, like it had been cut with a trembling hand. Home beneath. Her breath snagged. Home. The word tore her open and filled her all at once. Her village had scorched to ash. Home was gone. But the words were real. The letters were scarred like her palm, like something her brother would carve into a stick to make her laugh. Yek saw it too. His eyes widened. Who did that? I don't, she swallowed. She didn't remember anyone carving it. But her palm ached, the old thin scar burning as if touched by flame. A new memory flickered. A boy's voice. Her brother Len, he had whispered once before the soldiers came, if you get lost, dig. There's a home beneath. They turned left. The corridor bent like a river. A locked grate barred the way. Behind it, the floor sloped down into shadow. The letters on her mask seemed to warm, as if hearing the dark. Forbidden's rule rose in Marat's mind. Words all children knew: never go below the city. The tunnels bite, the old ones wake. The coast kills those who dig. Mara, Yek hissed. This way. He pointed right toward a delivery door. He had a boat waiting. He had a map in his head. He had plans that did not include ghost words, but the carved letters wouldn't let go. Something under the city pulsed, slow and huge. She felt it through her shoes. Boom, boom, like a heart buried deep. What did you trade? She asked, voice thin. What was the seed stone for? Money, names, I don't know. Yek's jaw clenched. He pulled at her sleeve. We don't have time. They'll be coming, she said. Boots echoed behind them. More than two. A lot more. Spies didn't clap when they meant mercy. Mara dropped to her knees at the grate. Her fingers found a shallow bowl in the metal, worn by hundreds of touches or only one. She pressed the mask's carved words to it. The corridor sighed. The grate shivered. The bowl warmed. The letters on the mask glowed faintly, like moonlight under leaves. Mara? Yek's voice cracked. You can't. The old doors are cursed. I know. She did. And yet she didn't, because something inside her was waking. Like sleep breaking, the grate slid up. Cold air rushed up from the dark, sweet and clean and old. It smelled like rain in caves. It smelled like the night the river froze and her brother dared her to jump. The floor sloped into a narrow stair. Lights bloomed along the walls, a line of soft pearls. The heart below thudded again. Boom, boom. It felt like welcome, yet grabbed her shoulder. We go down, we don't come back. If we go up, we die, she said. Boots thundered into the corridor. The careful man with shell-white hair appeared with 10 armored shadows. His smile had fallen off his face. He looked at Marat's mask and did not blink. Stop, he said. That mask is not yours. He was wrong. The letters burned warm against her skin. Home beneath, a whisper flickered in Marat's mind. Not her voice and not Len's, a woman's voice, the kind that gives orders? It said a single word, return. Mara stepped onto the first stair. The careful man lifted a hand. Shoot. Arrows hissed. Yek shoved Mara sideways. One arrow bit stone. One flew past her ear. One struck Yek in the side. He gasped, eyes wide, mouth open like a fish. He stayed standing because he was stubborn. Go, he said. Finish what you started? I didn't start this, she whispered, then end it. She put her shoulder under his arm and dragged him with her. The pearls flared brighter when her foot hit the third step. The wall whispered again. Return, return. Old breath moved in the dark, like a giant waking from a long nap and turning its head. The careful man's shadows surged forward. The grate thunked down between them. One last arrow slipped under and cut Marat's calf. She stumbled and kept going. Blood warmed her boot. The stair bent left and opened into a chamber. The ceiling held a map of stars, carved and lit from within. In the center, a stone cradle waited. It looked exactly like the one her mother had kept, the one that burned with the house. Yek sagged against her. His lips were pale. What is this place? Mara touched the cradle. The stars above shifted like a slow storm. The floor shook. Stones clicked open in a long chain, doors within doors. And then a voice filled the chamber, deep and bright, the same woman's voice, but huge. Welcome home, Commander. Marat's knees went weak. She didn't know the title. She knew the ache it answered, a shadow detached from the far wall. A figure stepped out, wearing a mask carved with the same words. Home beneath. The figure lifted a hand in salute, and spoke in her brother's voice. Sister? Want more worlds like this? Tap follow so you don't miss part 2.